dating. Oh, I have a fun story. I can't believe I haven't shared this story with you. I have 2 stories. He's like aggressively flirting with me. No, not flirting with me, hitting on me with his girlfriend there. Welcome back! I gotta be honest, I really needed a low pressure, easy to film, easy to edit video this week, and I thought this would be a really fun idea, and it would be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Last week's video took a lot of time shooting, editing, effort, energy, and next week I'm posting my music video, which is taking a ton of time, energy, rehearsals, making sure the space is good, my costuming is good, the direction is good. There's just a lot of time and energy and pressure in it, so again, this week I just wanted to do something chill and easy. I'm going to be experimenting with makeup looks for the music video. I am doing my own makeup for the music video for 2 reasons. 1, every time I hire somebody to do my makeup, especially on a really high pressure day, I always end up taking it off and doing it myself anyway. So I figure let's cut out that step and I'm just gonna do it myself. I get so jittery and anxious sitting there, and my skin tone is really hard to match because people treat my skin like I'm white, but I have Middle Eastern in me, so I have a lot of different undertones and I always end up looking sick and ghostly. And also I'm very over budget for this music video, and I pay for everything out of pocket. So speaking of paying for everything out of pocket, I wanted to give a huge thank you to you guys for allowing me to do so many sponsorships lately, and I haven't gotten any comments complaining about it, which is amazing. And it's so cool that you guys support the brands that I support and the brands that support me. So thank you so much for allowing me to do these sponsorships and for not getting annoyed by them, and you know, just giving me a break on that, because music and music videos are so expensive. So anything helps. And speaking of, I do have a sponsor for today's video. Seamless transition, I know. Thank you so much to QuickMatch for sponsoring this video. QuickMatch is essentially a social media platform with games. It's super addicting because you challenge your friends to play games with, but then it also has text, voice chat. It's gaming that's really social. You're talking to your friends, but you're also showing off your high scores. You can show them what games that you like best so people can challenge you to play those. My favorite is Connect 4. So if you want to play and connect with me, my code is 82804. It's easy, it's simple, it's free. You can make new friends, you can find a bunch of new games. New games are added every week. So if you guys are interested, make sure to click the annotation and download, or I will leave it in the link below. I'm gonna have downtime on set and in rehearsal, so I will be around to play you guys. Make sure to comment your username down below, and then everybody can become friends, and I think that's so cute. Anyways, let's get into these makeup looks. I had one of my favorite makeup artist, Lipstick Nick, send me an idea. She did my makeup on Escape the Night, and she's one of the only makeup artists that's done my makeup that I didn't retouch stuff after. She's so incredible. Look how amazing Nicole is also. I sent her a voice note, and she was at a bar, and she sent me a voice note back of what to do. Like, she's literally drunk at a bar right now, and she gave me a full tutorial via voice notes of how to do my makeup. God bless. So she thinks that I should do a black, wet looking smoky eye, which honestly, I agree. I think that would look really cool. So she explained how to do it. She said to put black eyeliner all over my eyes, and in the middle put silver, and that's about it. I think I can handle this, so I'm gonna try it. I actually have so much stuff I want to talk about and update you on, so this is sort of perfect anyways. I'm just gonna start talking about like my life or whatever. So my video last week, the roast yourself video, whoa, with the really dramatic twist 21 Pilots type ending. First of all, thank you everybody for the amount of support I got on that video. It is unreal. What really surprised me was, I forgot eye primer, was the amount of support I got from the YouTube creator community. Like, usually creators don't tend to tweet each other's videos out or anything like that. You don't get a lot of like personal texts or tweets or DMs about it, and I got so many messages of love and support from the community, and so many creators were tweeting it and sharing it and talking about it, and that honestly meant the whole world to me. However, what I found very interesting, and it makes 100% sense, and I can't believe that I didn't even think about this, is a lot of people were worried about me, which makes sense because I put out a really depressing piece of art. Here's the thing, I'm actually fine. In fact, I'm more than fine. I'm actually very happy. I would venture to say that I'm in one of the best places I've ever been in my entire life. However, when I wrote that, I was not. And that's kind of how I function as a whole, I've noticed. It's really exhausting, but tends to work really well for me. And without going too far into like mental health stuff, I don't have like an official diagnosis outside of CPTSD, depression, and generalized anxiety. I was very convinced that I was bipolar. I truly 100% felt that because I look at my life and I see these upswings. I would say like months at a time, I'm so depressed, I can barely move, I can barely breathe. And then all of a sudden I have these months where I'm insanely happy and productive and doing what I love, etc., etc., etc. But I don't know, my therapist is like really sure that I'm not bipolar. And I am wondering if it's just something more simple like seasonal affective disorder, because I'm always so happy in the summer. And it's weird how I came to realize that whenever I can like look back at times in my life where I was doing things that make me really happy, when I was really productive, when I felt good about myself, I'm always really tan. So I'm wondering if it's seasonal affective disorder, which is weird because I'm in Los Angeles where it's literally always sunny. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I do spend so much time in the sun when it's actually sunning weather. Like I love to just get on a raft and float in the pool. When I'm working, if I'm drawing, if I'm writing, if I'm sometimes editing, I will just do my emails, I'll go out and I'll do it by the pool. I work from home. I can work in a stuffy office or I can work outside. So anyways, I'm actually, all of that to say, I'm actually in a really, really great place right now. I've been doing really well. I'm really happy. And I think a lot of that actually comes from the fact that I broke up with my pathological liar ex-boyfriend. Now, I would never blame somebody for my mental health because you can't. You are in charge of your mental health. But I did notice as soon as I got out of that toxic situation, I instantly started improving with my mood, everything. Everything just got better once that ended. So, I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. I need to listen to Nicole's note. Okay, so I'm having a really hard time blending out this gel liner. But anyway, speaking of my pathological liar ex, that's what the new song was about. Well, that's what the new song was inspired by. When I write music, I try to write it as vaguely as possible. That's kind of my tactic right now. Maybe I'll change later on. But I like everybody to be able to relate to it. Like out loud, everybody assumed it was about a guy and a breakup, and it wasn't. It was about loss. Period. That's all it was about. I never say him, I never say we broke up. So like there's these illusions of just death and loss, and that's what I wanted to do, because then I was getting all these emails from kids and adults saying like, you know, I lost my grandmother, my best friend won't talk to me, I moved away from my old school and I'm lonely, my dog died. Like literally any form of loss can be applied to that song. With this song, I just wanted it to be about deceit. So the song was inspired by me dating a guy who's a pathological liar, but it's more so just about being involved with somebody who's not truthful, being manipulated, and more so the way it messes with your head, because you know I got into that dramatic series, so there's no need to rehash too much, because if you're watching this video, you probably already watched my pathological liar video, because that one's a way more interesting title than this. So if you're watching this, you probably watched that. When somebody's manipulating you and when you care about them so much, you start to feel like you're crazy. Like when somebody's gaslighting you, you start questioning your reality, and you just, Anyway, that's what the song's about. And there's a bonus track. So I'm actually putting out 2 singles, and the second one is really unique. Like it would never play on the radio, but I love it. And I might actually love it more than the main track, but it's literally the poem that I wrote that the song is based on, just sung. So there's no hook to it. There's nothing like that. It's really dark. It has like a theatrical vibe. It has like, you'll see. And the visual for it is so insane. D-Trix is actually choreographing it for me. Megan Batoon is choreographing the main song, and then D-Trix is choreographing the second song, which is so funny. God bless you, Dominic. So I went over to Dom's house just because I was asking him if he could like show me a few cool moves I could do. I can't say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but after I gave him the prop, he was like, damn you, Gabby, I'm gonna choreograph it for you. And he just like volunteered to do it because he's working on so many of his own projects right now that I wouldn't ask him to do it, and then he volunteered to do it. So I was so happy about it. Yeah, thank you, Dom. I love you. And Megan's absolutely killing killing it as well. I'm so happy I hired her for this. It's been a really cool experience so far, and it's so far out of my comfort zone, and you've never seen me like this before. Like, this is a completely, you're gonna be shook. Okay, Nicole says to put silver glitter in the middle of my eye, so I'm gonna put silver glitter in the middle of my eye. I'm also using toe stretchers right now. Taylor turned me onto this. I do so much stuff that she does. Like, she inspires me in so many ways. By the way, guys, I saw a comment the other day, I don't remember where, but it was basically about how I don't have any friends and I'm like alone all the time. I have friends. I just don't post about it when I'm with my friends. Don't get it twisted. When I'm with my friends, I don't post it. Like, I just want to be in the moment with people, and I hang out with a lot of people who are on social media and off social media. And I just really value like real friendships and real people. And it's a really good feeling that, like, I know when I hang out with like Taylor, for example, toe stretchers girl, I know that when I'm with her, it's because she's my friend. She's been my friend for years. She's known me my whole life. I stayed with her when I first moved to LA. She's just a supportive, uplifting, beautiful person. And I know that when I'm with her, it's because she cares about me. Like, there's a lot of reasons that I don't like posting about friends and when I'm with people or letting people know who I'm with and when. And it's one, when I'm doing it, I like to just be there in the moment and make it a real moment and not make it like a content thing. And two, I know for a 100% fact that the people that I'm surrounding myself with are in my life because they want to be. It's not because I'm tagging them. It's not for exposure. It's not for anything except they love me and they want to be around me, you know? And I'm just at a point in my life where I really enjoyed that feeling a lot. Just the comfort of knowing the people in my life are genuine. It feels very nice. And also, I know you guys are gonna try to run with that and make it shady. It's not shady. I'm not shading anybody. I'm not shading people who post their friendship. That's fine. That's just like a lifestyle choice. But the way I am and who I am and how I react to situations and relationships, I like knowing that the people in my life are there for me, not for a tag, not for a paycheck. They're there for me. And once I came to that, I've just been so happy and like carefree. And I like people who are like me and different than me, if that makes sense. Like, I love hanging out with artists. I love hanging out with creative people. I love hanging out with driven people who can talk about thoughts and dreams and emotions and psychology and philosophy and all that stuff. But I also love people who do things that I don't do, like disappear into the mountains for a week and meditate, you know? Like, I would never do that. And I think it's really important to hang out with people who inspire you to do stuff like that, which I'm never gonna do that. Anyways, I'm really rambling, but I guess that's what this video is, right? How's it looking so far, by the way? I'm actually really into it. Nicole's gonna be so proud of me. Wow. What else can I talk about? I'm starting to sweat. I'm wearing this hoodie that I've been wearing non-stop. So it's no secret, I'm doing merch. I've been designing it for a while. It's all hand designed, hand drawn, even the fonts are handwritten. So I've been putting a lot of love and energy into it, and it's gonna be amazing. So save you a coin. Anyways, they sent me a bunch of samples because you get to pick what shirts you want to print on, and I wanted to pick the best of. So the samples are so comfortable. So I've been wearing the samples non-stop, and now I just can't wait for them to have the cool designs on them. People have been asking me about my second book, and yes, I am working on it, but I actually am taking my time on it, and I haven't even told the publishers that I'm working on it yet, because for this time I just want to take my time. Because last time I did it the way you normally do it, which is you give your idea to a publisher, they give you a deal, and then they give you a deadline that you have to follow. And when you have a deadline, you start writing out of necessity and not out of creativity. Now that works when you're doing like a memoir, for example, because you know your story is your story. You just tell it. You just tell your story. With poetry, it's different because you need to be inspired to write about something. And what happened with the last book, now I love every poem in that book, but a lot of it could have been better. And if I had more time, I think that a lot of those poems probably would have been cut. This book's a lot darker. It's a lot more vulnerable. It actually shows a lot more into my psyche and my past and my struggles, and I love it. So there we are with that. I mean, I'll have an official book announcement when I have a book announcement, but right now it's just something that I'm like taking my time with and making sure it's perfect and something that I love. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about things I'm selling. Let's talk about dating. So, there was one guy that I literally the day after I broke up with this guy, like I was seeing him very briefly, and now I'm actually really good friends with that guy. We're actually doing some really cool work together, and it just worked out that way that, I don't know, we just worked out that way. We went on like 4 dates. It didn't work in that capacity, but we really like each other as people, and that's awesome. But I also decided that I'm taking a year off dating. I just want to be like completely not thinking about guys, completely celibate, like just not on my radar at all. Now, if somebody comes into my life, like I'm not saying like if my Prince Charming showed up tomorrow that I would turn him away. That's not it. It's just that I am not actively looking. I'm not on apps. I'm not pursuing. I'm just not looking. Like it's not anything even close to the top of my mind. Like I literally don't think about it. And it feels so good to not think about it. Like if I'm interested in somebody, I have a really good conversation with them, that's it for me. Now if they like were to pursue me and say like, hey, like I would really like to go out, like let's get a coffee, let's get dinner, whatever, yeah, I'd go. If it was somebody that I was like, oh wow, like I can definitely see something with this person for sure. But like as far as just getting on Tinder and going on a bunch of random dates and hoping to find somebody, here's the thing with relationships. Even when they're going great, they're still so draining and mentally consuming and time consuming and takes so much energy. Just the idea of like, okay, when am I gonna see this person? When am I gonna make time for this person? Okay, I'm gonna shift this around so I can make time for this person. Or like even just like daydreaming about them. I know that sounds so insane, but just having somebody else take up so much of your mental capacity and emotional capacity, I'm just not here for it right now. I'm all about me right now. And it feels good. And like I've said that before, but I genuinely mean it in a way that like I'm so happy and content and just balanced and stable, and it sounds like something a crazy person would say. Huh? I'm not crazy, I swear! No, but seriously, I feel so good. I still go to therapy every week, but I go in and I'm just like, I'm good, fam. Like, I don't know what to talk about. I think I'm finally at this age where I understand what's important in life and who's important in life. All right, let's put on a little bit of face makeup just to get the gist of what the look is going to look like. I mean, okay, let's do a full face. Let's be real. I said this in, I think I did a mukbang right after my performance in Australia last year, but I think my biggest skill in life and my strongest like asset and the thing I'm so grateful for is my ability to turn my sadness into art and use every emotion, because you start to become grateful for the pain. And I think that's truly the key to living a happy and fulfilled life. Finding a way to be grateful for your pain. And in this case, it's, wow, I went through, you know, a really bad situation, and I ended up being re-inspired to write a song and make music. And I may not have been doing that if I was still with this guy right now, or in the rut that I was in before it. And yeah, it really sucked at the time, but now it's like, wow, look what that did for me, you know? So that's my lesson of this long ranty video, kids. Find a way to be grateful for your pain, and then you will find happiness. Oh, I have a fun story. I can't believe I haven't shared this story with you. Well, I guess where would I have? Okay, so I have 2 stories. Okay, so first story. This was actually an amazing experience in my life because I'm very shy. I'm very introverted. So it's really hard for me to speak my mind. And okay, I was at this party. It was for 4th of July. I was out with some friends. Okay, these are starting to hurt. And there was this guy at the party who I instantly thought was so cute. So then he's like super aggressively hitting on me in a way that was like a little bit much, but kind of flattering also. But then it started getting like a little bit pushy in a way that I was like really uncomfortable with. And then he's sitting by me on the couch, and I would move aside, and then he would move back, and then he would put his hand, I was wearing a swimsuit top with shorts and a jacket. He would put his hand inside my jacket, like around my waist. So I'd like move aside, and I'm so ashamed at how much I didn't stand up for myself in the moment, but that, it's gonna get too serious for a sec. I've been in that situation a few times, and sometimes it's gotten to a point where it gets like really ugly and assaulty, and I always look back at it and I get so upset with myself for not doing something and like not like being more assertive. And I don't know why, but like in those situations I just like completely freeze up. And that's why I always, you know, when women come out and talk about these stories, like these Me Too stories, and people always say like, well, why didn't you walk away? Why didn't you fight him? Why didn't you kick him? Why didn't you do this and that and the other thing? I get why they didn't, because it's just this weird like response of freezing, and I don't know why. Like, I didn't feel like I was in immediate danger. Like, we were in a party. As long as I didn't go anywhere alone with him, which he was trying to get me to do, as long as I didn't do that, I knew everything would be fine. But then he kept asking me to kiss him, and I kept saying no, I didn't want to. Like, I told him like 3 separate times, like, I don't want to kiss you, and he would be like, why? And I was like, I mean, I don't really know you yet. Like, there's a lot of people around that I don't really know. Like, I just don't really want to kiss you in the middle of this party. So then he ends up kissing me. I don't pull away, I don't run away, I don't yell at him. I just like, I freeze. And I'm just like, why is this happening? Like, I told this guy that I didn't want to kiss him, and he's kissing me anyway. And it didn't last very long. And then afterwards, I found a reason to excuse myself, and I brought my friend upstairs with me, and I told her I was uncomfortable, and she stayed with me the whole time. She said, let's confront him. And I said, no, like, I don't know these people, let's just ignore it, whatever. So we did. So he already had my number at that point because I'd given it to him before all this happened. So he texted me that night, and I ignored him. And then he texted me a couple days or the day after, and this is what he said. He said, it was really nice to meet you yesterday. I think you're really cool. We should hang out this week if you have some time. I didn't want to just ghost him because for some reason in my heart, I knew like this was a learning opportunity for him. Like, if I just ghosted him, then he doesn't understand why his behavior was wrong, and he would continue to treat people that way if he wasn't aware because nobody's ever told him. And just ghosting him, then it would just be like, oh, I'm like a flaky bitch who ghosted him, you know? So I decided to seize this opportunity, and I said, hi, it was nice meeting you too. You're an interesting guy. I have to be honest though, for the sake of not just being someone who ignores someone instead of telling them why they don't want to hang out. I think you're really cool, but you're a little aggressive, and it made me very uncomfortable. I think I probably speak for most girls when I say I'm not really a fan of being kissed within the first like hour of meeting someone. And after I pulled away and said no the first couple times and expressed I didn't want to kiss in the middle of a barbecue, you kind of pushed it, and it made me feel really pressured. Aside from that, the putting your hand in my jacket and feeling my waist and back, the hand in between my thighs, it's just a lot from a stranger at a party. Maybe not for everyone, but for me. Anyway, I think you're cool and super cute, but that just kind of put me off. No hard feelings. If I see you around, I'll def hug you and chat, but I don't think I'd feel comfortable going somewhere with you alone at this point. So I have no idea how this guy's gonna react. I'm like a little nervous about it, but like not really because I'll never see him again, whatever. I'm thinking he's gonna like either ignore me or like snap at me or like something. He says, damn, I guess I was out of control. I'm sorry, I didn't realize how touchy and aggressive I come off. I know you don't feel comfortable with me, but going forward, I'm going to be a bit more reserved toward other people so I don't make them uncomfortable. Wow, I'm so clueless. Sorry for real. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to let me know, and as a tall man, sometimes I forget I really have no idea how intimidating I can come off. I'm still learning, and I know I have many things to improve on, but this is one major one. I think of myself as empathetic, so knowing this, it really hurts me. Ignorance is blissful. I'm so sorry. Look, I'm gonna like cry thinking that, because like that's so amazing. That moment was so empowering for me because like first of all, I spoke my mind honestly and assertively in a moment that, you know, could have done it sooner, but like in that moment I did, and it paid off in a way that I hope that he means it. I hope that he really does go on in life and treat women with respect and dignity, and, you know, be aware of, you know, his stature as like a tall, attractive man and how he can be very intimidating and pressury. And it was such a huge wake-up call for me. And guys, I've been having so many epiphanies lately and just like realizations. I feel like I've been enlightened in so many ways, and in this one it was just like I told a man something that he did wrong that he could improve on, and he received it with love and compassion and apology. I truly hope that he is genuinely a better person in the future to other women, and maybe pass that information along to other men. And I spend so much of my life as like a people pleaser, and that just comes, you know, it comes from like, again, like my childhood that I always mysteriously like allude to. I learned to like keep my mouth shut and try to make people happy, and then when I do try to, you know, speak my mind, it comes off too aggressively, and I'm just learning how to like communicate like a grown-up, and it feels really good, especially in a situation like this where like I feel like I made a difference. Anyway, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I met such a fucking douche the other day. Okay, so I went to this thing and I run into this guy that I like vaguely know, and he's always like somewhat flirted with me and hit on me in the past, and it just never really like went anywhere. So I was really shocked when at this event I meet his girlfriend. So I'm like, oh, all right, he has a girlfriend. So then after this event that we were all at, we end up going to a bar after. So we're all just like hanging, like he buys us all drinks, it's like really chill. And then he's like aggressively flirting with me. No, not flirting with me. hitting on me with his girlfriend there. Now, she reacts in the way that is the most annoying way a female can react in that situation, which is she gets very upset and aggressive with me. Now, I didn't do shit except for show up to this bar with these people, with my other friends. And like, I'm not flirting with him, but he's not just like being friendly. He's saying stuff like, no, I've been feeling you. Like, oh my God, this is the inside of a swimsuit where your vagina goes. He's like, you know, I've been feeling you. You should come over tomorrow. Like, I'm having this thing. So then he takes out his phone and hands me his phone to put in my number. And this is all in front of this girl. So she comes up, she like knocks his phone out of his hand and walks away. And I'm like, okay, I want nothing to do with this drama. Turn to my friend. We continue having a nice time. I wasn't gonna do like full foundation and stuff, but now I feel like I kind of want to just to see what the full look is gonna look like, because I will be wearing foundation that day. So now they're fighting next to me. Like, they've migrated next to me, and as they're fighting, they're literally in the midst of an argument about him flirting with girls in front of her, and I'm standing to his left with my friend, and he reaches around and puts his arm around my hip while they're talking about flirting with other girls. So this guy obviously openly cheats on this girl, and I mean, fine. But what really gets to me is, why is she with him? He's literally cheating on you in front of you, and you clearly know about it because you're openly upset about it. And this girl, she's not having me. She's being so freaking mean to me. So he comes up and he's talking to me, and I'm like, hey, I have a real question that I'm so curious about. Obviously, you like to hook up with other girls. You, I'm guessing, don't see a future with this girl. And if you do, then you don't respect her enough, or you're not in a place to be in a relationship, whatever. Please explain to me why. I mean, girls do it too, but I feel like guys do it more. Why be in a relationship? Just be single. Just be single. Be single, hook up with girls. You can have a main chick that you hook up with more. Have a side chick that you hook up with, and then go to bars and flirt with girls and do whatever you want. But why have a girlfriend if you're gonna cheat? I don't understand. It really gets to me on a molecular level. I'll be right back. I need to figure out a lip. Anyway, that's one reason I have zero interest in dating for a long time, is I don't have time for that type of like drama in my life right now. Like, the next person I'm dating has to be like just all in. I need to trust them completely. I do not have time for this. Watch them end up getting married and living happily ever after. I mean, honestly, I hope they do. But also, girls and guys, if you're in that relationship, I have a question for both sides. Guys, if you want to be with a lot of girls, why not just not have a girlfriend? And girls, if you know for a fact that your boyfriend is cheating on you all the time, what are you doing? I was with a guy who cheated on me all the time, but I never knew it. And then the second I knew it, he was gone. Like, I'm dumb in the way that I need solid proof. Wow, I really just did a full beat at 11 p.m., didn't I? I'm going to Australia, where I'll be performing Honestly for the first time. So I really hope that everybody there knows the words. It's funny, Australia is the first place I ever performed live. And now it's gonna be the first place I perform this song live, so I'm very excited. Guys, I suck at singing live, yes. It's really hard. And it's not at all like just like singing in a studio or anywhere else. It's just, it's different. Like, you're moving around, there's a crowd screaming, you're nervous, and I have so much to learn when it comes to singing live. So I see a lot of the critiques on me singing live and people saying that I'm bad at it, and I agree. But I honestly find a lot of comfort in knowing that a lot of even like the biggest, most famous singers, like, first of all, still sometimes have really bad live performances. But if you watch their really early performances, they're not very good, because it's just a skill that you really have to learn and get used to. And I'm not yet, because I've had very few live performances, and when I do, it's always in front of thousands of people, because that's how we do it. One thing my grandma always says about us is, she says Hannahs do everything in a big way, and it's very true. We can never just do something. We do it big. Do I like this? I think I do, but I kind of, watch me make this all go to shit right now. I kind of want some type of wing. Let me get my liquid. Alright guys, I never ever ever wear falsies, but we're going to try it tonight because I think that this eye needs to be just glammed up. So we gonna try it. And I haven't applied a lash in, God, I don't even know how long. I'm just not a glam bitch. I'm really not. I really love very light makeup, which is such a shame because I have more makeup than a lot of people freaking dream of, because I'm on PR list, which I still can't believe I'm on makeup PR list. That is so bonkers to me. I feel like I need to be illuminated more. This highlighter, everybody went wild over in my Out Loud video. It really pops on camera, but not in a glittery way. I don't think any of this makeup is my color, by the way. I don't cut my lashes because they have very big eyeballs. I also have Breeza touching up my color and adding in some extensions for thickness. So my hair is gonna be fierce. I just feel like lashes are always so intense. Like these lashes are insane. That covers up the entire look. That's why beauty gurus makeup be looking so good sometimes. You can't see it. Just kidding. Please don't shade me. I love the beauty community. But real talk, I feel like lashes like really cover up what you just did. All right, let me send some pictures to Nicole. Okay, actually the lashes look so good on camera. Please ignore everything I just said because I think that I love them. Dude, you know what would be my dream? My dream, like what I'm working towards? I want to make it enough in music that at some point people will say, hey, you know, she used to do YouTube, right? Like, wouldn't that be so cool if more people knew me from my music than from my YouTube? That would be iconic. I should have used this, damn it. But I want to get so relevant in music that like Brendan Urie will do a song with me. I actually wrote a song that I wish that he would be on, but like there's no way he would ever do it with me, but his voice would sound so freaking bomb on it. And it would be such an amazing duet and I would love it because Panic has been my inspo for so long, and I sent that track around to some friends and some other producers and they were all like, oh my god, this has such a Panic vibe to it. And I was like, yeah, like they're one of my biggest inspos. When people were comparing my second half of my Roast Yourself to 21 Pilots, I also was like gagging because I was like, okay, like definitely not, but wow, that would be another dream collaboration. I don't think they really collab with people. I've never seen 21 Pilots collab with anyone. And John Bellion would be a dream collab. If John Bellion would produce a track for me and like be on it, I would retire immediately because I couldn't do anything better. Like that's all I want is freaking John Bellion. He's so talented and I just love his work and his messages so much. Dude, I just want to touch people. But not sexually because I'm not dating for a year. I think this is gonna sound so insanely corny. I think I'm like finding my purpose in life. Okay, so I think day of lashes would definitely be smaller than this. These lashes are way too much. All right, let me send a video to Nicole. Okay, this is what I got out of this. I think the lashes are way too much. Like I never wear lashes as it is, but these are so intense. So I think I'd probably pull back on the lashes a bit, but this is the eye. And I think I'd also use a CC cream over a foundation. I never wear foundation, so it feels really cakey to me. And I don't think it matches my, ignore the skin part of the look. How do we feel about the lips? I can't decide. And how did I do on the eye? Any notes for me? I obviously could do better. Anyways, thanks for helping. I'm filming the video right now. Let me know what you think. There's no way to like show the eyes because the lashes are so long. I think I could intensify the black. Okay, so I look a hot mess. I'm gonna try to find a makeup artist. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this a mess? Here, I'll give you a close-up. I'm squatting in a very wide, uncomfortable squat right now to show you this. Okay, genuinely let me know in the comments. Is this a look or not? For real, I can't tell. I don't know, I suck at this. Anyways, I'm gonna take all this off now. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. Next week, I'm gonna put out 2 singles, so please, 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 please download them. The song is called Honestly. It's about liars and manipulators. This is this week's showstopper of the week. Let me know in the comments below if this looks really bad. And as always, I love you very much. Thanks for being a part of my family, and I'll see you next time.